And welcome back to Box Office Report today on the 4th of February 2024. I did not get the box office right, mostly because I didn't know The Chosen was doing another one of those theater drops. And even though they don't make gangbusters money, they do bring in a crowd to make it into the top 5, particularly when the pickings were so slim. But as I think most of us predicted, Argylle did come in at number 1 with 18 million. Whew. The Chosen, season 4, episodes 1 through 3, came in at number 2 with a collective 6 million altogether, a little over. So good for that. The Beekeeper continues to do amazing when they're 5.28 million. Number 3, Wonka, still there, 4.7 million in week 8, still in the top 5. And Migration rounds out top 5 with 4.1 million. This speaks well to how well good Wonka is and how well it's doing, but also speaks to the slim pickings we have for stuff in theater right now. So let's talk about it. Argylle, 18 million, with 17 million internationally for a worldwide total right now of 35.3 million. Obviously, that will increase. We'll see what the overall international will look like for Argylle, but if you saw my review when I was looking up some things for Argylle, I found out what the budget was on this film. This is not a $100 million budget film like the original Kingsman, I think was. It was like in the low 80s to 100 million. This is a $200 million film. Oh my God. Unfortunately, too, between some of the costs for the actors, but more importantly because of how much special effects are in there. Oh my God, some of the green screen in there is pretty bad. So because of that, I can understand where a lot of that money went, unfortunately. But you could have easily done this, I think, at least 50 million less. Cut down the movie a little bit. I think it would have worked fine because the movie is 2 hours and 19 minutes long. Cut at least 10 minutes out of there, you probably would have been good. And get rid of about 50 million, great. But that still would not save this movie financially right now. This movie, unless some major windfall comes through for the international, or it has a fantastic second weekend, which when I say fantastic, I mean less than 40. It's got no chance. And even though this coming weekend is still very mild, we do have some wide releases coming up, mostly like Lisa Frankenstein, which would not be stealing that much of this movie's thunder. It still isn't going to be enough. You would need essentially a doldrum month like January that was this month in order for this film to have any shot at making its money back. Because the following week, next week, is Valentine's Day and Valentine's Week. We got the Bob Marley movie coming out. In fact, hold on 1 second. We got the where is it? Bob Marley, Madam Web, and What About Love, which don't worry, that's not going to be doing much for box office anyway. But then the following day, we also have Chosen season 4 through episodes 4 through 6. So that is going to be playing a big factor. And Madam Web, while not projected to be doing very well financially, is still going to be taking money away and still going to probably be number 1 that week. Probably. So, as always, we ask ourselves the immortal question of what the hell happened here? What about this movie did not work? And, look, having seen the movie and liked the movie, I can definitely say, because the critic scores are crap, 35%. With over 200 reviews, 35% of the audience liked it, of the critics liked it. Now, the audience score is a lot better. It's about 70. So this is definitely one of those things where the audience is definitely voting a lot more with their dollar than the critics are going to be voting for. And again, take critics, as always, with a grain of salt. They are movie fans like us. Never think otherwise. But they do it for a living, but they just see so many movies, I think, that they are programmed to view movies a slightly different way now. But regardless, my issues with the movie are very clear in my review, where I basically talked about it's not tonally very interesting. Not tonally very interesting, right? It's not tonally coherent throughout the entire movie. It is very misleading on some of the stuff going on in the movie. As well, some of the characters take a while to warm up to. And if we're going by a marketing standpoint, they just never really gave us much else to work with from the trailer. Now, because of the type of movie this is, that does make sense, because there's a lot of reveals in the movie that you can't theoretically give away. But with that said, I don't know. I mean, there's creative ways to definitely do marketing. I think the marketing kind of failed this movie a bit too, because you would think Henry Cavill led film, Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Jackson there, Bryan Cranston there. You got all these great big names, Catherine O'Hara, all the great big names in there, and it's just no one really went out to see it. There was like maybe, I want to say 8 other people and me and my girlfriend screening at 5:00. Ugh. So I really think the interest wasn't there, unfortunately, which really sucks for all these actors, but really for Henry Cavill too, because Henry Cavill is such a great actor. I love seeing him in things, and he's got some like Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and even Justice League movies. They didn't do fantastic financially. They all did made money, but they never really highlighted him very well. Even in Man of Steel, you got The Witcher, which did highlight him pretty well. So that was one thing he had. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which was a great movie, in my opinion, underperformed. This now underperforming. He is set to be in the Highlander, doing the Warhammer film, or series. So it's not like Henry Cavill is a superstar. He really is. It's just, for some reason, his movies have not really drawn a lot of people to them, and maybe it's the movie itself. Maybe it is. The Chosen season 4 episodes 1 through 3, 7.4 million. Good for it. This is not going to be. I believe these films, these not sneak peek. I guess call it, these events for The Chosen. I believe they do kind of go through into the next weekend, so I'll have to consider that. But it does say Fathom events too, so maybe it won't be around. I can never remember. I'll be treating the box office prediction next week, as this will not be here. Let's talk about films that actually have been doing well. The Beekeeper made another $5.2 million. $122 million, man. Again, I'm just going to keep beating a dead horse if I just keep saying the obvious. Good movie, good action movie. Jason Statham's is a lead that we can get behind. Made on a relatively low budget, only about $34 million, give or take. He had about $20 million marketing. This film made its money back a long time ago, and it's now just raking in money. So good for it. Still my favorite film of the year so far. Wonka, $4.7 million. $571 million. Okay, I still don't think it's going to make $600 million. It's $29 million away. It's in its 8th week. It's not even making $5 million at the domestic box office. But look, if it somehow magically did do it, just under $29 million to go, I wouldn't roll over in shock. I would just be like applauding at that point. It's so, and again, testament to the quality of the film, the fact there has not been a lot of competition out lately. So there you go. Migration, $4.1 million. Another film that it's now sneakily gone on to make about $222 million. A film that honestly did well. It made its money back, made a little bit of extra money. That's all I can really say about that. I've said my piece on Migration. This is the problem when there's so little coming out, is that my commentary on what is coming out is I'd only just be rinse repeating every damn time at that point. We need a lot. Fortunately now, with next week, not this coming week, but next week, we are finally going to see some pickup at the box office. Oh man, it's been a bit of a slog, to be honest. Then we got Mean Girls. Okay, here's something we can talk about. Mean Girls dropped 42%, $92.6 million. Great. You're looking at a film that probably has about $30 million in marketing. As I said before, it's about, doing the math in my head real quick there, it's 45, 46. So you're looking at a film that has to hit, sorry, no, what am I doing? That is 31. It has to hit about $93 million to break even. So the good news is this film will break even. I wouldn't say bad news, but less than good news is, while it will break even and probably make a little bit of a profit, I don't think this is what Paramount was hoping for. Mean Girls, I think, is actually a testament to what happens when you have a novelty item that is really just the novelty. It's in its 4th week and it's out of the top 5 and didn't even have that strong of an opening weekend. I mean, it had a good opening weekend, but it dropped fast and it dropped hard. And I think it speaks to the quality of film. I don't think it's a very good film. Still a lot worse than Night Swim, but not a very good film. And I think it speaks to, even for the people who are fans of this film series, which it is a film series now, you can only carry it with your novelty, like singing for so long, because otherwise you're just retelling the same damn story. You really are just retelling the same damn story in a music video format. That's all you're doing with different actors. That's it. Lindsay Lohan makes an appearance in there. And yeah, fair enough. She had made an appearance. It makes sense. But, and honestly, even from the little bit I've seen, I don't think this is probably as good as the original movie. And I don't even like the original movie from the bits I've seen that much. So, yeah. Regardless, yeah, Mean Girls. Anyone But You. $3.5 million this weekend. It's at $151 million. Holy shit. You want to talk about a movie that got a bump from the international? Holy crap. This is a little movie that I knew nothing about. Didn't even go out to see. It's probably still in theaters. I could catch it. But didn't go out to see at the time it came out because I just, I can only be so picky and choosy. And right now I'm a little short on funds, so I'm only seeing one movie this week. And it might actually be Stranger Than or American Fiction, by the way. Oscar-nominated American Fiction, getting a wide enough release that I might be able to actually go see it at my local Cinemark. So I might be seeing that. I don't want to see Lisa Frankenstein. The more I see those trailers, the more I'm like, I am not digging this premise. Like this premise is creepy. This girl is actually a little unsettling from a personality standpoint, and I don't think I would like watching this very much. I'll do it if I have to, but I would probably prefer seeing American Fiction, a film that's apparently really good. But I digress. So, $151 million. Again, a film made on like $33-ish million, and probably only had like 20 in marketing because it was barely marketed. I think I started seeing the trailer like a month before it came out, so that's barely any marketing put into it. And so, yeah, $151 million. You're talking about a movie that really made some bank back now, and it's still making money. So good for it. You don't get a lot of R-rated comedies out that do well, so I'm glad to see one actually did well. Speaking of which, American Fiction, Oscar nominated. It's still expanding its release. $15 million. Hey, all right, cool. Good for it. I've seen bits and pieces like of the marketing. I'm like, all right, subject matter's a little on point. Let the white guilt flow, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. It's all part of the show. Aquaman made a little bit over $2 million this week. Where are you standing at? $426 million. I'm calling it now. It can't break even. It can't break even. It just won't. Its international is now pretty done. Unless there's one more boost it's going to get, it's done. $302.7 million internationally. That's not bad. It was never going to make $1 billion. With the state of the DC universe as it was never going to make $1 billion. The fact that it was able to finally cross $400 million, be the first since the original to do it, though, it's impressive. And it got close to breaking even. 423 is not shabby. It just didn't break even. It lost money. Every DC Universe film since, I want to say since Birds of Prey has lost money. And now two of those, again, Wonder Woman and The Suicide Squad. It's not a fair comparison. Pandemic, all that, day and date release. Honestly, the day and date release is what really did it. Not even the pandemic. But yeah, regardless, hey, look, it still managed to do something. Just wasn't enough to make it less than something. You know what I mean. Night Swim, $1.5 million. $43 million. At best, this film's going to break even. Yeah, it goes to show that even Blumhouse can throw out a stinker every once in a while and let it float and then sink. The Boys in the Boat, $1.3 million. My aunt wanted me to catch this to get my opinion. I, again, probably won't be able to go out and catch it, but regardless. $51 million, though. I don't know what the budget is on it, but it's good for it. It probably wasn't made on a lot, to be fair. The Zone of Interest, which is another film that's got some award buzz going on there. Auschwitz Commandant Rudolf Haus and his wife Hedwig strive to build a dream life for their family in a house and garden beside the camp. Yikes. So, yeah. Strong, but hey, look, again, expanded release. The Iron Claw is no longer getting its expanded releases. Unfortunately, the Iron Claw doesn't really have much in the way of Oscar buzz, which is probably why it didn't get any expanded releases. But it did well for a very small A24 film. Then you have Origin, which is kind of irrelevant to this conversation. The Boy and the Heron, which again, it made its money back a long time ago. ISS, which pretty much just went like a fart in the wind. Oppenheimer, again, got expanded release, but by how much, by what standards? Is Wish moved from any place at all? Hey, 240, good for Wish. Hey, it still did not make its money back. The Holdovers, which has also got a lot of awards buzz, did not get any expanded releases. I am a bit surprised by that. How to Have Sex. I am not familiar with this one. What? I didn't hear anything about this. 3 British teenagers go on a rite of passage, holiday drinking, clubbing, and hooking up in what should be the best summer of their lives. Should be the best summer of their lives. Unfortunately, drama. So, yeah. No. And no thank you. What about Troll? Did you actually finally make your money back? No, I don't think you did. But you barely didn't. Again, another film that barely didn't do anything. Either way, Argylle finally threw some new blood into the box office weekend. Unfortunately, it's not a lot of blood. I gutted him, and there wasn't a lot of blood in there. So, yeah. That being said, we got this week coming up. We got Lisa Frankenstein, and that's really it. I mean, okay, we got Skin Deep, Turning Red, Float, and Taste, and Lisa Frankenstein and Popular Theory. Only Lisa Frankenstein and Turning Red, I think, are going to have any relevance on the box office. I get wide release. I do get calling, because technically that is what it is. It's wide release. But, in Super Mario Brothers, I just realized, random off-topic thing, just must have gotten a bit more of a bump from expanded because it's actually at 1.4 billion now. So I think it must have. Well, actually, no. It says worldwide. Why are you saying 1.4 billion? It's 1.36. Maybe it's because it's over the 1.35 mark, so you're categorizing it that way. I don't know. But anyway, Lisa Frankenstein's to be fair, I don't even know how much buzz Lisa Frankenstein's going to get. I did see trailers for it, so it's definitely been marketed at least to some degree. But Turning Red, I mean, Soul didn't do that much in the box office. I mean, Turning Red probably won't either. And I will still say Argylle will be number 1 next week. I don't think that's unreasonable to say. If we're assuming The Chosen episodes 1 through 3 are not going to be in the theaters anymore after this week because it's a Fathom event, and even if they are, it's stupid because they're going to just drop immensely. I'll be honest, I don't know if even Lisa Frankenstein is going to really do much. So I'm going to go Argylle. Ooh, Beekeeper versus Wonka. Beekeeper dropped a little bit more than Wonka, lost less screens. Wonka's probably going to end up losing more screens because it's the older film, but it still took barely any drop, and it's again got no competition this week. Wonka versus Beekeepers, and then Wonka versus Migration too. We got some toughies here today, folks. So Argylle number 1. I feel very confident about that. I guess I'd still go Beekeeper though over Wonka, and again, it's over 500 grand more. So even if it takes a slightly bigger drop, it's got a bigger gap. Then, oh man, Wonka versus Migration hasn't even lost any screens yet. I think this week might be the week where Migration loses some screens. It did drop a little bit more than Wonka. So I will still go Wonka and then Migration, and then I'll definitely go Mean Girls. And then, I got to figure out if Anyone But You and American Fiction. Ooh. American Fiction, Anyone But You is going to lose more screens. It's possible American Fiction might even get more screens next week, or at least not lose any. And it barely dropped. Like, it dropped only 11%. But that means it is dropping. So I'll go Anyone But You. So really, yeah, it's just going to be kind of a repeat of what we're seeing here. I shouldn't even get rid of the thumbnail I already have for this because it's probably going to be, well, that's not true. I do got to factor it. So actually, yeah, I got Argylle, Beekeeper, Wonka, Migration, and actually Anyone But You. Mean Girls is going to be knocked out of what would have been the top 5. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks for the next one. Have a good one.